and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today I thought we would make a very simple and easy Christmas card. Something that you can do with the children because it doesn't take very much time at all, and something which is really good for using up all the little tiny pieces of scraps that we might have over using our designer series paper at Christmas time. So this is the card that we're going to make, and as you can see, I'm hoping you can see, you've got these rather nice sort of three-dimensional pieces of the tree, and it just sticks out nicely. So it is an origami type card, and what you need is you need several pieces of designer series paper. So the first one is cut 3 inches by 3 inches, and then you go ½ an inch smaller. So 3 inches by 3 inches. So 3 inches by 3 inches. 2½ inches by 2½ inches, 2 inches by 2 inches, 1½ by 1½ and 1 by 1. So you have 5 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, starting off at 1 inch, ending up at 3 inches by 3 inches, and it's ½ an inch increments between each one. Okay, so then we get down to the folding. Now I've chosen the Dashing Along designer series paper because it's got some lovely greens in, and I have done a couple of them to save a bit of time. So let's start with this one, and what you are going to do is you are going to fold it in half. So literally just fold it corner to corner, just straight in half. Because it's a square, it doesn't matter which side you start on. Because this has got a little bit of a pattern, I am trying to keep it lined up in the same direction. If it's a pattern that it doesn't really matter that much, it doesn't matter. And then all we're going to do is we're going to fold this corner down. So if you line up along your bottom to line it up straight, and you are just going to put this piece in like that, and then taking the other corner, I tend to just sort of bend it a little bit to start off with, and then you're going to take this corner in onto the bottom as well. So just make sure that you've lined it up as best you can. Because they're square, it should be fairly easy. And then just you can use a bone folder. Because these are fairly small pieces, I tend to just use my thumbnail and then just give it a crease on both sides, and that's one of your pieces. So let's take the next one and do exactly the same thing. So we're going to fold it in half. I'm doing it up here so you can see it easier, and I find sometimes it's easier for me, particularly with small pieces, is to do it between my fingers rather than it lying down. So then we can just, as I say, crease it across. You can, as I say, use a bone folder. And then we are going to take this, which is the folded edge, down. So just crease it slightly. And we are going to take this folded edge down onto the bottom. And as I say, I find it easier this way because you can get your corners in a little bit easier, and then just fold that piece down and give that a crease. Fold it the other way and give that a crease, and then just take the other piece, which is this end, and fold it down again. So it's a very, very simple, easy fold, and as I say, will be great fun to do with children, or you know, as a family thing. To just make some Christmas cards together. It's something that, as I say, we all end up with lots of little pieces of scraps over at Christmas. And again, you don't have to do it all in the same colour. Any little pieces of scrap that you've got left, you can do it with that. So this is the last piece, which is the 3 inch by 3 inch, and literally just fold it in half like this. And just fold it along the bottom. Because our designer series paper is double-sided, you can do it on either side, and if you're not completely accurate, it doesn't matter a huge amount, because you then just get to see a little bit of the other designer series paper underneath. So as I say, if you're doing it with children and their folding isn't particularly accurate, it's something that, as I say, it doesn't really matter, and it's quite forgiving. But as I say, I thought it would be a fun idea. I made some of these last weekend with some of my family, and I thought it would be a lovely idea. I quite often have my youngest grandson, who is 5 years old, and he comes round and quite enjoys doing craft and things. He likes playing with the or turning the handle of the Big Shot and things like that. So as I say, this is just quite a fun sort of card that you can do, and then they can decorate as they want. Okay, so we're just going to take a piece of Whisper White cardstock, which is 5.5 inches by 3 3/4 inches, other way around, 5.5 inches by 3 3/4, and we are then going to put these on the card. Now, you can use designer series paper at the background, but I thought just white made the designer series paper pop a little bit. Now, what I have done is, says me, can I find it? I have a little, oh, here it is. I've cut a little star out because I want the star to be at the top. So I've just put it on a tiny mini dimensional, and I'm going to do that because that will help me to balance where I'm going to go. So I want it in the center and about there. So you want to start about, how much is that? Let me just measure that. It is about 1 inch down from the top, because then it will balance them. And then if you take the smallest one, these were the two that I folded before, and I'm just going to take a bit of wet glue. Wet glue is very good because it allows that wiggle room, and with these, because these are little triangles, we want to try and get them as accurate as we can. So I'm just going to move this down to the bottom, and we're going to put the first one just underneath the little star like that. Get it down in position, and then just press it down. The nice thing about this is that the center pieces of these, or the little flaps as it were, just stick out a little bit, and as I say, it's so simple. So let's just take the other one and glue that. You can use snail. In fact, you can use any of the glues that we have. I'm going to try and line it up on the grid paper because I'm doing this at an angle from the camera. I'm not sure how accurate this is going to be, but what you need to do is to just literally put it a little tiny bit over the one that you've already put down. So just put that down because you want just a little bit of it going through on the top. Let's just get that straight. Let me have a look straight. Yes, that's okay. And then, as I say, put it down. Wiggle glue. Wet glue is really good because, as I say, it does allow you to just move it around a little bit. So let's take the next one, and we're going to pop that one in just underneath like that. And again, you're just tucking it underneath. As long as it's just over the top, what you need to look at is your gaps here, because you want the gaps to be as even as possible. So let's get the next one. You could actually do, if you wanted to do a little row of them and you only had some tiny scraps left, you could do a little row of trees in different colours and stop there and just do 3, which is 1 inch 1.5 and 2 inches squares. So if you've only got tiny scraps, you can do it that way. But it looks quite nice as a whole tree. So let's get the next one, and again just tuck it in underneath just a little bit, line it up. If you try and line it up so that the point runs sort of from the center of these, so that your line is running up as accurately as you can. Again, it's not critical. It depends how much of a perfectionist you are at getting things straight. As you know, I tend to I'm quite happy for people to know sometimes that my cards are handmade, and if they're not perfectly straight, well, that's all part of crafting. And then we're just going to put the bottom one down on there like that, with that gap, and then press it down and allow that to stick like that. Now I have cut a tiny little piece of the glimmer paper, and this is this lovely glimmer paper, which is the Joyous Noel, which are 6x6 sheets, and they are in Tranquil Tide and in this lovely gold, and then you've got Merry Merlot as well. So they're beautiful for Christmas time, and we're going to just put this one in just as a little bit of a trunk. So I'm just going to put some wet glue on the bottom like this. And then the nice thing is that where we folded it, you have a little pocket on the bottom one like this. So you can actually just lift it up and tuck this piece in. I could have actually cut it down a little further, and then just put that down in the center, and that gives you just a little bit of a gold trunk. So that's just giving you a little bit more colour on there. And then, as I say, to finish off, you can put some gems or some pearls down the side. Or what I did on this one, I just got my my hole punch, which is this size. You could do any punch that's got a circle in it, and I just went through the tiny little scrap pieces of my glimmer paper and just cut out some little baubles to go on there like that. So a very simple and easy card, but that looks fun with a lot of dimension, that will be great fun to do for Christmas time. So thank you so much for watching me, and do look forward to seeing you again. Bye bye.